Welcome to the Dean Blechman Show, live from Long Island. Free-flowing talk with a charismatic, down-to-earth host. Join Dean as he interviews and chats freely with his guests, ranging from superstar athletes to politicians, industry titans, and everyday folk with fascinating life stories. Dean educates, entertains, and most of all, touches people's lives. You're listening to the Dean Blechman Show, live from Long Island.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doghouse, the first show, the Doghouse. 4 people getting together, keeping it real, talking about the past week and everything that's just going on in our lives and everyone else's lives. We have here in the studio Carol Ruth Weber. You've seen her before. She's been a star guest on the show. You've seen her on Dean on the Street. She's a lifestyle influencer, blogger, writer.
Yes, that's me.
What else? Hair Power, Wild Carol.
Hashtag Hair Power. Mom of girl who's going into the Navy and freaking out. And
And we've got next to her, we've got the glue. We've got Anthony, the finance guy.
Hiding behind Carol's hair.
You bet.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tie it back.
Going over the Atlantic Ocean. Everybody gets to see the legendary, the beautiful Rea Bow there in the United Kingdom. Hello, Rea.
Hi,
Hi
Rea.
guys, me okay. I hope this mad world is treating you well. I've heard loads of stories about how crazy it is to live in New York, and I live in the countryside in England with rolling hills and people that go ta-ta. So, and today I've got some vanilla fudge to munch during the show, along with some Irish cream coffee.
Oh,
nice.
Fudge is
And
my
it's
favorite.
about 80 Fahrenheit in the UK, so it's full sun. So we're all good to go. Over to you, Dean.
Well, thank you, Rea. As far as my big story today, I mean, it started over the weekend. I'm happy to announce that tomorrow happens to be my big 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
23rd.
Thank you. No candles necessary. But
a lot of candles.
you were talking about the city, and Sharon and I went into the city with some dear friends of ours. And just crazy in Manhattan these days. I mean, we checked into a beautiful boutique hotel called the Andaz, Fifth Avenue
beautiful.
Hotel. Have you been there, Carol?
No, but I know the boutique hotels are lovely.
Really phenomenal.
Yeah, we stayed
Great
a couple.
staff, really great people, the whole bit. But the traffic in Manhattan, and we checked in that night. We headed over. We went over to my favorite tavern, the Minetta Tavern. You've seen that mentioned on many of my shows. And then had a great time in Greenwich Village at the Comedy Cellars.
Nice.
What great comedy we saw till 3 a.m.
We have to do a live show over there.
Yeah, definitely. We saw my good friends, comedians Greer Barnes, Tony Woods, and one of my favorites, the J Train.
Yay.
Jared Freed. Wow,
Yeah,
the J Train, just
he's
phenomenal.
great, yeah.
But just a great weekend, great brunch the next day at my favorite stomping ground for brunch, Siddell's there.
Oh, nice.
Just in Soho, just super. So, but the traffic
The
is
traffic's insane.
just insane.
It's
just wild.
It's beyond insane. They say, in fact, just this past year, the traffic has doubled or tripled, and they don't know why. They're maybe attributing it to Uber-type cars. And Hannah, who is home from the Navy, she's sitting here with us, but no one can see her. She doesn't want to be on set.
Come say hi.
Well, she just graduated University of Miami, so I'm a proud mom, but she's going into the Navy. And we went to see my father, and we attempted to go in on Friday to New Jersey, which means for anyone who doesn't live in New York, traveling over 2 bridges and from our house about 35 miles away, which does not sound too far. 2 hours into the trip, we have gotten about 12 miles and not even reached the first bridge. And at that point, yeah, we tried every which way. And at that point, I had to call my stepmother and say, this is not working. I am done. And then we had to do it all over again on Saturday, which was crazy traffic again, but not quite as crazy. So about maybe a little over 2 hours it took us to get in and then coming back. So needless to say, my lovely little Mini Cooper, that's a stick shift. Shout out to Rea, because I love my British cars and everything. But you cannot drive a stick in New York. So my husband's like, he hates when I go anywhere in New York and I take the car, because that means he's driving my cute little fun Mini Cooper, and he loves his big American car. Well, it's not really American, but he loves his big car, automatic, and I'm taking the automatic now because I'm not. It's hard enough driving with the automatic, much less a stick with the clutch. But yeah, crazy. So.
Hey, let's mention, Carol. When you talk about that, Rea, we've especially Anthony and I, we've known Rea for almost a year now.
Yeah.
It is a year, and she thinks we're whacked. She thinks we're really whacked over
they
here. Not
are,
just
Rea.
us, but us
I am
us
too.
New Yorkers.
Yeah,
She thinks
yeah.
we're whacked.
Yeah.
I think Rhea's got to make her way over to Manhattan sometime,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
this
I'd
time.
rather go to England now,
she's,
honestly.
And she's got to experience going through the Queens Midtown Tunnel.
I think everyone needs to experience it just to realize why we are the way we are here, because it really, when Hannah was at school at University of Miami, people would say, oh, but Miami traffic's crazy. I said, no, Miami traffic's pretty good. They can speed there. That means it's not too bad.
No, not so bad.
We can't speed here. Yeah.
Let's go over to Rea. Rea, how was your weekend?
Yeah, all good. But just keep one up on the traffic to experience. I've driven in Rome, Paris, Tangiers, Senegal, Casablanca. Do you know what I mean? And they're all nuts, I can tell you. And you're just dealing with traffic and stuff like that. And in those places, you're dealing with people that want to get in the car and sort of join you and stuff like that. And that's just the norm. So, yeah, I know, Matt. That's why I live in the countryside,
Yeah.
right? Why don't you guys just move to the West Coast? Go to LA.
Whole different crazy there.
Anthony, let's go over to you. How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. I got a little bit of relaxation.
Yeah.
We went to Northport yesterday into the town, and then drove up into Ashroke and went sightseeing, and then went to the beach over there.
Beautiful. That's beautiful up there in Northport.
Yeah, it's a nice,
Really,
Yeah.
really nice.
nice
Wow.
area.
It's gorgeous.
So listen. Let's the big story. You guys got any big stories that you want to talk to? How about Rea? Let's go over to Rea. Rea, what's your big story that you'd like to talk about today?
Okay, it's one that's not making the headlines. I kind of ummed and ahed. I looked for some gossip, but I couldn't find any sort of international juicy gossip. I found one thing, and that was Pippa Middleton's marriage.
Yeah.
And the best man's speech. You got to check that out online, because that's kind of quite funny. But the big story has got to be cryptocurrency, right? Because I've made an absolute killing at it. Nobody's talking about it.
What
Nobody
is it?
really knows what it is. Yeah, exactly. Nobody knows what it is. So basically, it's a different type of currency, and it's got about 1.5 billion US dollars pouring new dollars going in it every day. And people are making a fortune, but nobody knows about it.
No.
So that's it. That's all it is if you don't know about cryptocurrency, find out what it is. If you want to know where to go, just go to wickedvid.com and go on the crypto page, and there's your beginner stuff on there. What is it? What does it do? And how to earn this, that, and the other. But my investment over a week has gone up 256%.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah, right. So
What
it's
about
kind
our-
of big funny thing.
Rea, you're not pushing.
Finance guy
You're
here.
not pushing over this over the first Doghouse show. You're not pushing Reabo Financial Services by any chance now, are you?
I'm not. I'm saying there's lots of money to be made right now in a brand new thing that is all you hear from the media is Bitcoin's really bad and it's only used by villains.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is
You know,
all-
I know you can't participate, but I needed to bring it up.
Anthony and Rea, Anthony and Carol, for the last 7-8 months, the amount of messages that I get into the show, everybody wants to meet Rea. And
here
they
she
get
is.
a chance to see her, how much she's showing up, lady in red.
Yeah, you look great today.
Just beautiful for the first show. She really looks great.
Yeah.
She looks like this. She looks like this every day.
Save me some.
And I hope
There's only 2 left.
Oh boy.
I hope everybody likes her European accent.
Oh, of course.
And we're hoping through Rea that we get Theresa May one day on the show.
Theresa May.
The Prime Minister of Britain, hopefully. So,
What do you need her for? You've got me. Besides,
We'd rather have you. We'd rather have you. You're probably a lot more fun.
how about you, Carol?
I'm eating fudge now.
Anything you want to say as far as
I have a
stories?
big story as a new Navy mom, freaking out about my daughter going off to the Navy. If anyone hasn't realized, she's sitting here shaking her head at me. Hannah is going off to the Navy and mom is freaking out. Anyway, I'm on these Facebook groups, support groups for moms, for Navy moms. And I never knew this because we feel, okay, if our kids are in the Navy, our government should be supporting them and everyone should be supporting our military people and whatever. We have this one family that is having issues. The son went off to boot camp, and the same day the mother went in for surgery. She didn't want to upset the son, so she didn't tell him about the surgery. I'm not quite sure what surgery it was, but since then she's had a couple more. So I'm assuming it's not something little. On top of that, I guess because of all the surgeries, they haven't been able to support themselves. The father's car is repossessed. On top of that, they are down in Texas. Their son is graduating boot camp up in the Great Lakes, which is up north, Rea, and everyone else by, I guess, Michigan, that area. And they don't have transportation to their son's graduation. We are trying to raise funds for this family. Now, what I'm told is that the other divisions, like the Marines, fund families who don't have the money to get to their kids' graduations. And meanwhile, we have families who cannot get to their children's graduation when they're leaving boot camp and are then heading off to protect our country. And I think that is so sad.
Very sad.
And I never knew that. I will be writing an article about that, but it's something that we really should make everyone aware. And that if you do want to help these families, I can find out more information, but something that we should all be aware that, this is horrible, that here we have,
awful.
Here we have, kids like my daughter or anyone else who are going off to boot camp and training to protect us, and our government really doesn't care to even give them a good send off, have their care enough to have their families be able to afford to go to see their kids off.
So you don't, as far as the audience, you want to share with them where they could, do you know at this point where they could,
I'm really not sure
where they could write to?
We're trying to create some kind of charitable funding site for it. But if you want any more information, please feel free to email me. You could go to my website, WeberLifeDesign.com. That's Weber with one B. You can email me at carol@WeberLifeDesign.com and I can give you more information. Or you could go to my Facebook page, Carol Ruth Weber at Weber Life Design. And you could at least find me and message me, and I can get you in touch with whoever's, because this is really something very important. And we have to make the government aware that, hey, you can't hide behind this, because this is not cool. This is just not cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on another note, I just want to congratulate you and your family on Hannah's graduation.
Yes.
Okay, from the University of Miami.
Yes.
And going off to the Navy.
Yes.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Hannah, I do want to say, when I was looking at colleges with my children, that we did look at University of Miami. It's a beautiful school. You're fortunate that you attended the University of Miami.
It's a resort.
But my kids, after I went through the University of Miami, I said, you're not going to the University of Miami, because when I saw swimming pools, weather, I said, you need to go to cold schools.
It's a resort.
So that's
totally
how
resort.
University of Michigan and University of Maryland, they stayed north, because I thought when you go to college, that it would seem like too much of a resort.
You mean you're not supposed to be going to the Key West?
That's right.
And you're not supposed to be going scuba diving and going off to Disney World every weekend?
That's right.
Was you a mean dad?
Let's go over to Anthony. Anthony, do you have any story that you wanna talk about today?
Well, I'll save that story, that guy for the doghouse.
Another traffic nightmare that Anthony had this morning, right up to Dean's driveway.
That was my big story, but I'll save that.
Hey, listen, the biggest story that I told you was earlier, and that is tomorrow is a big birthday for me. I feel great.
We should have had a cake
the
here.
number I can't believe the number.
You look amazing. There's no way you look that.
That is hard to believe, that the number 60. Yeah. But it is pretty amazing. That's the biggest story. But without the show getting too political and getting off guard, I do have to say, whether you love him or dislike him, I think it is pretty historic. Pretty pretty
I know, I'm trying not to laugh too.
Whether you love him or you
this is
dislike
going.
him, okay? I'm not looking for this first show, The Doghouse, to become very political, okay? I will say, once again, out of respect for anyone that holds the office, because this is the way I personally feel, that whether you voted for him or you didn't vote for him, whether you like him or you don't, I do believe in respect for the office. And I do find it really remarkable that today there is a historic event that's taking place this morning in Jerusalem, that this country's never had a sitting president be at the Western Wall of Jerusalem. There have been presidents out of office that have been at the Western Wall, and it's really remarkable to see the video and the TV with what's going on over there in Israel today. So
it's pretty interesting. We'll say it's an interesting event. How about that? It's an interesting event.
You gotta be a tough president to go. You gotta be a tough president to go in the Middle East
before we
drama going on.
I think it's pretty, and especially this early in his presidency.
Yeah.
It's
well. He needs to get out of the U.S. for a while.
Before you take up a lot of the show, Carol, we're gonna go over to the United Kingdom. The lady in red. We're going to go over to Rea Bow and what she wants to say, what her 2 cents are about my big story, that besides my birthday, the big story of what's taking place at the Western Wall in Jerusalem today. Rea?
Yeah, it's an odd thing, isn't it? I mean, God, it's such a deep topic. You could get into it and just go straight into a political thing with Zionism and what about the Palestinians? And, there's so many roots with it. But hey, sod all that. They're all mad anyway, aren't they? I mean, they just are. Everyone's the same. Nobody's better than each other. And they all just want the bucks. Ends there, as far as I'm concerned. And by the way, it ends in Sicily. What's in Sicily? That would be the mafia. Anyway, so congratulations on your 60th, Dean.
Thank you very much, Rea. Really appreciate it. Hopefully there'll be another 60. So
I'm sure there will.
It's great. A matter of fact, as I said, we spent it in the city this weekend, and tomorrow just gonna, I think, lay low for the evening, because then we're off to Rea. We're off to a beautiful part of the country. On Thursday through the weekend, we're going to be in the wine country in Napa, and it should be a great couple of days there. I like red wine, and once again, there should be a little bit more weight put on the waistline, but I'll deal with that when I get home. But that's the big celebrations that we have planned for the rest of the week in Napa in the wine country. Anthony, you ever been out there?
No, but I actually I had a close friend years ago that went out there and came back with. I've seen a bunch of pictures and stuff. Looks amazing.
Yeah, I don't think you're a red wine guy. I think you're more of a vodka, scotch, zombie type of guy.
I love those California Cab is my favorite. Yeah. Absolutely, cake bread is my favorite.
I say we all go out to Napa.
How about you, Rea? Ever been out to Napa?
Well, I'm not sure where it is, to be honest.
I was concerned about that. You never heard of Napa?
California.
No. Well, I know Napa in India.
Yeah. It's about it's a little bit outside of San Francisco in wine country. And,
you have to watch that movie.
I know roughly where you are.
Yeah.
Watch that movie Sideways. That's when Napa became very fashionable.
So,
it's a good movie.
So listen, we're going to move on to a part of the show that there is some trouble in paradise. And we're always at this point in the show. We're going to read some letters that come into the show, and I've got one for us today that I want to share. Okay. This is Karen and John from Vermont. My mother-in-law is always interfering in how my wife and I bring up our children. She regularly babysits for us and fills in if we need emergency childcare, as we both work full time. She's very supportive in that way, but the payoff is that she feels She has the right to tell us how to parent, and it's driving us mad. Should we put up and shut up or say something? We're really not sure what to do. That's Karen and John from Vermont.
Well, how old are their kids too?
They didn't tell us.
I guess they're young enough to need a babysitter.
Right.
Obviously.
7, 8, 9, in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere between toddler and.
Now, Carol, you've had some pretty good experience with marriages. And, with a few,
one kid,
with a
three
few
marriages.
3 marriages.
And one kid.
So what advice? How about your experience with mother-in-laws and interfering? What advice do you have?
I have to say, my first husband, my mother-in-law was a sweetheart, but unfortunately she was very elderly and she was in the hospital dying when we got married. But she was amazing. She had danced with Martha Graham and she was absolutely fabulous. And I kind of inherited his family. And hi, Josh, you're probably sitting with Pia or in the basement somewhere. I don't know where, but hi, Pia. I love you. Anyway, that's his wife now. Anyway, so that was a whole different situation. We didn't have kids. Now with Hannah's father, his family I didn't have any contact with them. My mother, though, she would babysit. She was a better grandma than a mother. Sorry, Mom, but that's true. She was a fantastic grandma, even though she's crazy. Hannah can attest to that, but sometimes crazy is fun. So, she was there. But she really she didn't overpower or make rules up or anything. I think parents need to establish these are the rules for our children. And if you don't go by them, then you can't babysit. You can have time with them, but you can't babysit. Obviously, maybe they're a young couple and they don't have the funds for a full-time daycare and they need that. But there has to be some kind of balance where they say, look, we really appreciate that you're doing this for us, but we also need you to listen to how, we are raising our child and what we feel is best. So, and I did have some issues with her father because we were separated and divorced. And I would constantly tell him, you have to have her clean her room there. Of course he didn't. So I'm sure it's similar with some grandparents. It's very hard to walk those lines and say, okay, I know the kids are with you, but you kind of have to take care of them the way we're raising them.
Right.
So as the kids get older, though, it'll be much easier because hopefully you're doing a good job raising them and they will know right from wrong and what to do and what not to, what they are supposed to do. And they can even tell grandma, this is no grandma, this is not what mommy would want me to do. So, it depends how you're raising your kids and you have to have communication. And I'm still trying to get my 22-year-old daughter to clean her room to this day. So it doesn't matter who had taken her. They never listened to me. And to this day, it shows because I'm still telling her, you're going to be grounded at 22 and going into the Navy if you don't clean your room. So
you know what? Hannah doesn't even hear you. She doesn't even hear you,
you
Carol.
can tell. She just ignores me.
She doesn't even hear
she's
you.
Seeing everyone. She's sitting here in the room with us,
Not even
and she's not
processing.
even hearing what I'm saying. So it's kids will be kids.
See, for me, I never had this problem because my mother-in-law never interfered.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So my advice to John and Karen is if it's so intense, move.
Right. No, I agree.
That's
that
what I feel.
what?
Move.
Just
move,
hire someone that you could actually tell them what to do. But unfortunately, depending on where they live, they might not have the funds. They might not have the means to do that. And this might have been an overbearing parent. The whole, she probably was one of those momzillas at the wedding. So who knows? Just probably someone you can never tell them what to do or how to do it.
I love my mother-in-law Eileen so much.
No, she's
okay.
a
She
sweetheart.
lives. Yeah,
She's great.
You know, Grandma Eileen. She's
very nice.
Lives
woman.
down there in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Eileen.
And, I better say hi. Say hi to my mother, Jean Blechman,
and
too. 'Cause she's
Sylvia.
unbelievable, okay?
We're going to get the three of you together. Don't worry.
Okay. But my mother-in-law is so good that we had to, everyone that doesn't know it, this studio happens to be in my home in Setauket, Long Island. Okay. And we're here building out a built-out studio, global studio around the world. And the big conversation is, Hannah's sitting on a couch here that's also a pull-out bed, okay? That anything could be done in this room, on the wall, anything done in this studio, except one thing. I know Rea, a long time ago, she said, get the couch out. And I said, that's the only thing that you can't do, because my mother-in-law, the couple of times she comes up from Florida,
She needs a place to sleep. That's her sleep. That's her bed.
Physically, it's not, she's not able to go
Right.
up and down the stairs.
Right.
So she.
Do you know what I thought when you said that?
Go ahead, Rea.
Do you know what I thought when you said you can't take the couch out?
What's that?
I thought, God, is he under the thumb?
So the couch has to stay here. Okay, so I got a great. Hey, Rea, how about yourself? You've been quiet in this topic. How about mother-in-laws? What advice do you have for Karen and John?
I'm quiet because you New Yorkers fill it up, don't you, all the time? Goodness sake. Where is your sense of etiquette? Goodness.
I think this soon's going to be called the Carol Ruth Weber hour.
You got this thing.
Sorry, all.
You guys.
Yeah, the mother-in-law, what do you do with it? If you don't like confrontation, you kind of, I guess, you let it go along. She gets more of a handle on it. Maybe likes that nurturing thing and having an input. But my take would be sort of nip it in the bud, really. Or, like you say, move. Well, no, you don't want to move just because of that. But that's kind of crazy unless you want to move. But someone's got to talk to her, haven't they, and say, and find a balance. Look, we know you want input, but at the same time, we feel like you're treading on our toes. Sometimes you really naff us off. And if you naff us off too much, we're going to move. So,
That's a good one. Scare her.
How about that's the European way, right?
Right.
That's the European way. How about Anthony? Anthony hasn't.
He has a child. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it goes to what Carol had said before too. I read this this phenomenal book years ago. I actually gave it to somebody to borrow, and I learned that that's one thing you don't do. You don't lend people books because you never get them back.
No.
Although I will give you your books. Dean lent me some. But there's a book I read it by the author's name was Byron Katie, and the book was called Loving What Is, and it basically has to do with these type of things that you just accept them for what they are. Like as a mother, she talks about children in the book and tell them to pick their socks up off the floor, and it didn't matter how many times she said it, the child would never ever do it for years. And she said, rather than letting these things cause stress in your life, you just love it for what it is, loving what is. So that fact that her mother-in-law is like this, you just love your mother-in-law because that's just the way she is. And rather than having it as a source of friction and looking at all the things that you don't like that she does, look at all the things that she does that you do like and you do agree with.
Yeah.
Because like they say, lepers don't change their spots, people don't change. And I think, rather than saying something to her, that may only go so far, although I do believe in communication, like you guys said before. I think the easiest way is and like I say to Dean all the time, opinions are like buttholes, everybody has them. So you could say that, oh Ma, I think you should do things this way, and then your husband says, well, we should do things this way, and the wife says, well, we should do things this. Everybody has their own kind of opinion as to what may work, and to have any type of friction over it, I don't think makes any sense. So I would just let it fly. And
Well, you can let it fly, but you have to have some kind of communication.
well, as long as she's not letting them do shots off of a mini bar.
So how did you categorize your relationship with your mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law now, I'd say the one mother-in-law that I have a relationship with is the one I have now. Obviously, my daughter's way too old for babysitting. So, but she's a nice Italian woman. She would have been, she's an amazing person. So if I did need her to babysit, there wouldn't have been a problem there. So,
Wow.
She probably would have spoiled. She still spoils Hannah. So, but that. I've never really had to deal with that. I've had to deal with my own mother and an ex-husband and all that crazy. And socks. Talk about socks on the floor. This kid brings in socks. She'll be wearing flip-flops and the socks follow her like she's Pigpen. So I can definitely relate to the socks on the floor.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't let that go. I mean, she has a small room in a little apartment right now, and the socks kind of just take over the entire floor. I don't know where they even come from.
Wow.
that's standard.
I'm looking at you today, Carol. You look beautiful.
Oh,
This is
thanks.
hair power. Hashtag hair power.
Hair power.
The most unbelievable. Hannah's got beautiful hair too.
Yes.
I just
yes.
realized I'm gonna need a stool too because I'm like so hidden behind the hair. I keep
The
checking
hair.
to see.
You know,
yeah, I keep looking too to make sure.
Rea,
I'm not hiding it.
I wasn't sure that I was even going to make it today. I mean, in the city, 4 a.m, you hang out at these great comedy clubs.
He's a
till
party
4 a.m.
animal.
The comedy shows. Rea, do you like comedy?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to come into New York. These comedy sellers, unbelievable, and it turns into a whole night.
We
So
need
I
to do a
didn't-
show
I
there.
didn't. Definitely, I didn't think
Yeah.
we were going to. I didn't think we were going to be doing the show today.
We need to bring the doghouse to the city.
Yeah,
That's where
I want to
where
be
we're
careful
really-
here. Not just the comedy sellers, but our buddy Joe Carletto.
Oh yes,
and James
yes.
Dolce.
We have amazing
we
comedy
gotta-
right on Long Island.
Carol, we got to be fair here.
Yes.
we got to be diplomatic
Yes.
and fair.
Joe, why haven't
Governors-
you called us? Are you sitting in a limo somewhere? We want to make sure you don't need rescue.
Governors comedy clubs, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
we met Vic Di
yes,
Potato out there.
Yes, and that's how Dean and I met.
You bet. You
So
bet.
so no. In fact, we're waiting to do a show at Governor's at some point. So Joe, call us.
Rea, out by you, do you have a hot comedy club in your neighborhood that you go to?
God, not that I really go to, but I'm just sort of arm's length from London, so there's loads of them, absolutely loads of them, live at the Apollo and
Oh yeah.
all sorts of stuff going on. And you understand, you have Soho in your region, we have Soho
Yes.
in our region, don't they? And they're different.
Now, I haven't asked you this for a year now, but I was just curious. Anthony, weren't you always curious whether Rea drove to London or whether she traveled by bicycle?
Well, apparently she's close enough. She can go on horseback.
So do you take the metro in or the underground or what's your favorite transportation to London?
Spit it out, darling, goodness sake. No, I think preference would be a horse. If I had the opportunity. Maybe do a Lady Godiva thing and get some that might be an option.
That'd be fun.
Maybe like a hippie bicycle with a wicker basket on the front with some flowers, and get the hippie power going.
You gotta have the bell on the
say-
underbus.
That's I like all of those ideas.
Anthony's pretty quiet today. He's not picking on. He's keeping his distance on this
Yeah,
first show.
yeah,
He's keeping his distance
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, I don't wanna
He's
pick
being
on
careful
anybody.
with
My hair
Rea.
is in the way. My hair is in,
come on,
my
Carol,
hair is in the way.
What else do you have for Rea today?
For Rea,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Sherry, I love London. I love England. So, I think we need to bring the doghouse over there.
To bring the doghouse over there.
I'd be all for that. I even have a producer friend over there that could probably set us up. So,
So at this point of the show, we each get to put something or somebody into the doghouse.
Mm-hmm.
So where do we want to start now? Do we want to start with, let's go over to Rea. Rea.
Okay, my one. I had a good think about this, and because I run a news site, It's so easy to do a news thing, but there's one that's got to go in there, and it's really simple, right? I want to put CNN in the doghouse.
Wow, CNN.
what did Wolf Blitzer do to you?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Rea? Carol wants to know, what did Wolf Blitzer do to you?
The Clown News Network.
The problem is I'm not on the payroll like they are. So,
Right.
So CNN in the doghouse, guys. I've heard enough about them.
Yeah, I'm with that.
So the Brits don't like CNN then.
No,
Oh, it's like the
CNN.
BBC. It's just a corporate mouthpiece. It's just a
They're
thing.
on
It's
Fox.
like, do you really believe that crap? Really? All the time.
I don't know. I don't know how much credit, like me, they're giving. Once again, whether you pro-Trump, against the Trump. I don't know. I don't know how much CNN today is giving at least respect to the office of the presidency. I don't know how much credit they're giving him that he's in Jerusalem today at the Western Wall.
I think they're just basically reporting it, and no one really knows what's going on. And whether you're for Trump or against Trump, whatever Trump does has to do with him. So one way or another. So I'm really not sure how to even look at this. Yes, it's very interesting in a historic aspect, but then again, did they tell him they're going to put his name on the wall? Why? Yeah, like why is he there? Yeah.
Rhea, did you know that his wife, the First Lady Melania, and his daughter Ivanka cannot walk in a part of the Western Wall? Only men can be there. They have to go through a different area.
Yes.
Did you know that, Rhea?
I had a good idea. I've been to many parts of the world where I wasn't allowed.
Yes, it's
Okay.
It's a prayer site, and in the Orthodox Jewish religion, the men get preference over the women,
Right.
And
Okay.
yeah.
So we're going to move from CNN. Rhea's CNN. She put CNN in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Carol Ruth Weber.
Wolf's getting Wolf's on the phone right now to Rea.
He's calling Rea.
Gang.
He's gonna call me Ruth. He's gonna call me for Rhea's contact
And Anderson
information.
Cooper,
Anderson
like,
Cooper.
why us? Why not Fox? What did we do?
So, Carol, who or something are you putting in the
New York City traffic? The metro traffic
Wow.
in New York has increased. It was bad enough a couple of years ago, but in the past couple of years, I don't know if it's these independent taxi type drivers like Uber or Lyft, but it's a fact, and news reports, the news sources are reporting on this, that traffic has increased like 2-3-fold. And Hannah and I were driving, we're attempting to drive from where we live in Long Island to my father in New Jersey, which is about 35 miles. It doesn't sound like long, but we have to go over 2 bridges and go around the city through the Bronx. So we left the house about 8:45 in the morning on Friday, which is really usually a pretty good time. We know we'll hit traffic, but it's right after when most people are already getting to work. And we drove about 12 miles.
Wow.
And we didn't even make the first bridge. So
crazy.
12 miles in, it was almost 11 o'clock. 2 hours in the car. And we're looking at each other saying, Hannah's saying, we have to cancel this. I'm like, well, no, they need to see you. You just got back from Florida. You haven't seen them. You're going off to the Navy. Should we take the Midtown Tunnel? And we're attempting I said, this is, I have no idea to this minute how we ended up pulling off, and we're still not stuck in that traffic, but we were able to pull off into a town in Queens, into one of the boroughs of New York City, and pull over on the side and really figure out what to do. And I called my stepmother and said, it's just not happening. I really think they didn't believe us. They probably thought we were in bed and trying to make up an excuse. But we turned around, we went, did our shopping that we were going to do Saturday, and then off again on Saturday we went again, and it wasn't nearly as bad as that, but it still took almost 2.5 hours to get there, and then another 2.5 hours to get back. And the traffic here is just there's nowhere to go. There's no this was almost as bad as right after 9/11.
Wow.
This was insane.
Yeah, we came into the city
Yeah.
on Saturday, so we came with our friends, best friends, Kenny and Rhonda.
Yeah.
So we took Sharon's car, an Audi 8L, Audi, big
truck,
car, yeah,
yeah.
big car. And what's this, Anthony? What's this app? Waze or Wise?
Waze.
What do you call it?
Waze.
Waze. Yeah,
I love
don't,
Waze.
I once tried this Waze, and it didn't work for me. For
I know,
Dean got
whatever
pulled
reason
over.
it didn't.
Yeah, right. By the one cop that they didn't tell him about.
It didn't work for me. So my friend Kenny, I love him. He's got this whole Waze thing and
Yeah, I use
whatever,
that all the
and
time.
he's usually I take the Midtown Tunnel, but it's a single lane these
Right.
days. It's just crazy what's going on with the tunnel.
It is.
So very rarely, I don't even know how to get to the 59th,
Yeah.
the 59th Street Bridge. So he's using Waze. Next thing you know, Sharon's fighting with him. She's in the front seat. They're arguing.
Well, she have
Waze
Google,
isn't working
she has
right.
Google Maps on.
Then we get over the Queens Then we get over the
apps are fighting
then
each
we get
other.
then we get over the 59th Street Bridge, and Waze says turn left or right, and it gives him the wrong way. Next thing you know, they're fighting still.
Well, the problem-
she's arguing with him that he doesn't know what he's doing. And
a lot of the problem in the
we-
city, though, sorry to interrupt, is a lot of those apps, because of the tall building, they lose their way too. So all of a sudden you're stuck in the middle of New York City and you don't know where to go because the app's confused. So go ahead.
I gave up on Waze the first time because I didn't know that Sharon told me when I had my phone charging, the reason I didn't get any sound or volume or that person talking to me is you can't, Anthony, did you know that you can't have it charged, your phone?
Really?
Yeah, you can't have your
No.
phone charged.
I didn't know that.
It's going to prevent the person speaking to you giving you directions.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that doesn't work
Yeah.
for me.
Really?
How about you, Rea? And do you use Waze?
I just use a sat nav.
She's living in the country and yeah.
Leaving the city yesterday. leaving the city yesterday. A 5-minute ride to the tunnel. Kenny had us take
Right.
the tunnel instead of the
Right.
59
Right.
or the Triborough or the
Right.
FDR. Okay, he had us take the
tunnel.
The tunnel. Big mistake, Kenny. Okay, but a
Shame on you, Kenny.
5-minute drive to the tunnel. 5-minute drive took 45 to 50 minutes.
But you know,
crazy.
But let me tell you, like the traffic we were in the other day, there was not a road without traffic. So that was probably the one way that it found a couple of minutes to save for you. So it's really been crazy.
My dear friend, I love her. His wife, Kenny, Rhonda. Hello,
Hi, Rhonda.
Okay.
Hi, Rhonda.
She was so. Just think about it. It's my birthday that was celebrating, and I'm the one sitting in this traffic, and I'm the one driving. Okay, but Rhonda was so distressed that you could hear her going, just belching the whole ride. Next thing you know, she's taking out her what's it called, Carol? Pneumonia, the
Inhaler?
Imodium.
Imodium, right?
She had a
popping
really
Imodium.
rough night, huh?
The whole ride, I'm hearing her belch. You know?
Oh no!
Okay.
Fun
Then I-
drive. What a great birthday time you had.
Then I offered to take it once we hit the island. I offered to take us all out to dinner.
She's like, "Get me home."
And she said no. And Rhonda usually never passes that up. She usually if I say we're going to go to eat, she sees all for it. Okay. I love you, Rhonda. Okay. So you're what? Putting the
Is that the Kenny that's following me now?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
following
Kenny,
you.
I love you.
He's great.
We'll
Great
go in
dude.
soon. We'll get together
So
soon.
you're putting New York traffic in the dog.
Oh, big time. Big time. They're not getting out. New York traffic is stuck in there until someone can get their act together to figure out how to fix this problem, because there's no getting around. And now with the construction going on at LaGuardia Airport, I said, if we were trying to get to the airport that day, forget it. The traffic's been so bad that they have had people get out on the Grand Central Parkway and actually leave their cab and hike it and walk miles to get to the airport because they knew they wouldn't get there if they were in there. That's crazy.
Yeah, how about when they're all creeping? They're just from the different streets
that's what-
creeping into the tunnel.
There's no.
You know what I got to see? We've got to see Carol Ruth Weber in lower cut revealing outfits coming into the summer now, right?
Oh, yeah.
They'll all let her pass them, right?
I'll wear the bikini.
What's Rea saying over there?
Easy
Up, Tiger.
Yeah.
How about you, Anthony? Who are you putting into the? What are you putting into the doghouse?
I'm putting Joe from Stony Brook with the black Acura in the doghouse. So this is the story I pushed off from before. So I'm coming down 25A to get to the studio, and I know that Dean wanted to, 11 o'clock, so I wanted to get here early because he's like, oh, we had a power outage, and I want to make sure the computer's working, and me and Ria were working last week trying to narrow down some technical issues, so I'm like racing to get here because I wanted to make sure everything was running properly, and so
you knew I was getting stressed, right? You knew I was getting stressed out.
So I know how he is. Even like 2 days ago, I had him for some reason I had him in the calendar for Monday and Thursday, and I was like, are we doing something Thursday? He's like, no, I told you Monday and next Monday. I don't know where the hell you got Thursday from. I'm leaving on Thursday. I was like, oh, maybe it's supposed to say Dean leaves instead of so I knew he was stressed. So I'm rushing to get here, and I got this geriatric patient in front of me. I thought it was
he wasn't elderly.
By the way he was driving, I thought he was always crawling, just like crawling. So he finally pulls to the side. I guess I was like tailgating him. He finally pulls to the shoulder, and then I go around him. So I pull up into Dean's, and then I see the same car, and then he pulls up at the end of the driveway.
And Hannah and I are getting out of the car.
So they're getting out of the car, and I roll down the window. her. I'm like, Carol, is that all right? Can I park behind you? She says, yeah. So we're going to leave about the same time. I just wanted to make sure she didn't mind. So I park behind her, and then I get out. And as I get out, this guy gets out of the car, and he starts walking up Dean's driveway. And he's like, what is, yelling about me tailgating him and this and that. And I says, sorry, I'm on the job. I'm in a rush here. He goes, what kind of job is it? I'm like, oh, I'm actually doing a radio show. I says, I'm the tech guy. I got to make sure everything's working all right. And he
tried to pull me into it. I was like,
are you with him? And she's like, yeah,
poor
Hannah, we're doing it together. And he's like, what the hell? You tailgate me for this and that? And I was like, listen, I was in a rush. Have you ever been in a rush before? And he's like, yeah, well, I'm like, what is your name? And he's like, my name's Joe. Why do you care? I'm like, because you're going in the dog.
More traffic nightmare stories.
Yeah.
That's how we deal in Long Island.
I love that.
Anthony, so you could tell that text reply from me, you could tell you got under my skin there at that moment, huh?
Yeah.
When I text you back.
Yeah. Because I have Dean's life in my calendar too, because we work so closely together.
You guys know by now that when I tell someone something once already, and confirming our first two the Doghouse shows, here's Anthony asking me again, just a day apart.
He's young. He's still in that learning curve.
Well, because I have his whole life in my calendar because we do so much together. Well, so I had his Thursday that he was leaving, but it just said Dean. I put stuff, everything that Dean is TDBS or the Dean Blechman show. So Monday I had TDBS, and Thursday I had TDBS, and then the following Monday for the other show I had. So I was like, what are we doing
Wednesday,
Thursday?
Though.
What
the following Wednesday?
The following
Wednesday. Yeah. So I had old TDBS in my calendar. And I had to ask him. I was like, "What's Thursday?" But Thursday's the day he leaves, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Rhea handles it much better than you when I get under her skin.
Oh yeah.
She handles it much. She just says, "Ease up, Tiger."
Oh, I said that to you this time. Yeah.
Well, it's funny though when we first. I think it was when we were first going to meet, and I'm very good at confirming, and I called or texted you to confirm. You said, oh no, when I say something, it's right. Because I'm very much like that too. Like I like to confirm and make sure everyone's on the same page.
But Rhea's being extremely conservative. This is our first show going video. That, the shows always in the past have always been just audio. So my dear friend over there in the United Kingdom's being extremely conservative. That this show's supposed to be about keeping it real, full transparency. So I'm going to keep it real, friends. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. I'm very offended that this is the first show she has not called the host, the star of the show. She hasn't called me darling today.
It's a Monday. We're all tired.
I'm flabbergasted to think that matters. So I'll tell you what, I'll do it for you on your birthday. You call me tomorrow, and actually, Anthony wants me to do a sexy answer phone message for his business.
Oh, wow, that's great.
I need the British voice, the sexy female British accent.
So I guess everybody's just waiting for me. My dog house, before I was thinking about the traffic, but now that my dear, beautiful friend here, Carol Weber, has picked New York traffic, what comes to mind for me, and especially living here on the New York, out on the northeastern of Long Island, here in Setauket, what comes to mind that I'm putting into the doghouse is the crazy weather we've had. The crazy weather we've had over the past month.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like
the roller coaster. Roller coaster. I mean, last week, Rhea, here in New York, we actually had 95, 98 degree weather. And then we go back to, 55, 58 degrees, rainy, cold.
We don't know what to wear.
So
it's unheard of.
So I'm putting the weather in the doghouse.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So listen, we're coming up on our time of our show, you guys. This has been
it goes so fast.
This has been so much fun, man. I love you guys.
I still say we need a sleepover show. We're all gonna be here on next Monday's show. We're gonna do a pajama party.
An
8-hour overnight broadcast.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think we should do that.
Wow, Sharon's gonna love that. Huh? She's gonna love that, huh? Ree, coming in for that or what?
Yeah. Let's do let's do a pajama party.
That'd be fun. We
What's
need
even
to
crazier
do
is that we're all so crazy we could actually talk for those whole 8 hours and not run out of things to say.
Definitely. And we'll have guests come in.
You know, Carol, Ruth, I'm looking at your hair and I'm looking at Rea's, and I've got to ask both of you. I'll start with Rea. Rea, how long does it take? How long this morning to get ready for our first show, the Doghouse? How long does it take you to get your beautiful hair like that?
I think it's probably by the time I sort of fall out of bed and look like a bin liner, I'll probably be about makeup and hair an hour, probably.
Wow, an
Yeah.
hour.
That's honest. That's being honest.
I guess that's good though for female.
Rea, I hope
reasonable.
an hour. That's good. Rea, I hope you haven't been offended. Until we get the cameras all set up here. Sharon didn't want me to face towards you because of what the back of my head looks like. I don't have as much, so you got to look at it. I don't have as much hair as I used to have when I was in my 30s and 40s.
We're perfecting the studio still.
But Carol, how long does it take you to get your hair to look like? It's unbelievable.
I wrote a whole article about taking care of my hair because people are always questioning it. And at night, I kind of put it on top of my head or put it in a braid. So in the morning, I put a little fresh aloe on it and kind of comb it through with my fingers or a little comb on the ends and some water. So it depends on if I'm having a good hair day or a bad hair day, which no one else knows but me. Yeah. So today's pretty good. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm having a bad hair day, so I'm just having a bad day.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, you guys, you guys aren't into sports that much. You don't follow sports much. You know how much I do.
Yes.
Okay. He had a tough night last night. LeBron James in the Eastern Finals against the Celtics at home. Okay. But
he has a good pizza place.
I really appreciate iconic, very special athletes, pro athletes that really separate from all the rest. And I'm really pulling for him. It's really unbelievable what he's done. And a tough night last night. I think it's 2-1 the series, Cleveland against the Boston Celtics. But it's just going to be remarkable if Cleveland and LeBron make it to the finals and play the winner of Golden State against Golden State's playing the Spurs. And if he's able to win back-to-back championships,
that's cool.
Everyone is going to be debating. Everyone will be debating, is it Michael Jordan or is it LeBron James?
LeBron James is kind of like Michael Jordan. He's in so many different things, like Blaze Pizza and all that. University of Miami, right, Hannah? He's been, on campus there.
Right.
Was he teaching a class there or I think he was taking a business class there. So he's been all over the place. So that's what I mean. My connection with sports is usually through other means. So
okay,
yeah.
There was a big
elaborate.
There was a big horse race. I don't know if Rea knew it, but Rea, are you familiar with our big horse races that we have? The Kentucky Derby, the Preakness that was on Saturday, and then soon we have the Belmont Stakes. We're not going to have a Triple Crown horse this year. That the winner of the Kentucky Derby did not had a tough time on Saturday. Had a tough time on Saturday. Rea, are you familiar with the horse races that we have here in America?
The middle one, the Kentucky Derby, definitely.
The Kentucky
Derby.
The
last one, not sure about the middle one.
And of course, I bet that horse, and then Racy lost.
The middle one's a very, very short race.
You know what, Rea? I've never been to the Kentucky Derby. Maybe I'll fly you in one day, and we'll go to the Derby together, you and I. You got to wear one of those nice, hats.
Well, that's what they do.
She's got to dress up with one of those nice outfits.
They go all out
at the Derby. Can you picture Rea?
In England, they wear the Fascinator, and the men wear their morning suits. It's beautiful.
So listen,
darling, don't forget first class.
Yes.
So we could keep going on and on. This is a great start, and thank you guys, man. This is, as I said, it's going to be a show every week that the four of us just keep it real, full transparency, have some fun, talk about things from the week.
And we'll have guests on.
And we'll have guests on.
People calling in or whatever.
Rea, is there anything else you want to share on my closing comments?
Yeah, I think we need to step it up a bit with what goes in the doghouse. New York traffic, bit lame.
When you come to visit, Rea, you'll be right up. You'll be right up there with us. You'll get it.
Yeah, I get that it's a pain, but we need to make it a bit more personal, a bit more bitchy, and a bit more backstabbing. And, I just got to step it up.
Oh, the New York traffic. When you're stuck in traffic, you are backstabbing. But yeah, get it.
So that's it, really. Hey guys, look, thanks for tuning into the Doghouse. It's going to be one of many. We've still got technical things going on, and I've still got to put up with these New Yorkers talking over each other and all these kind of things. Do you know what I mean? Dean's 60 tomorrow, and he gets in a fit really easily. Do you know what I mean? So, but otherwise, I've loved being in here, and love and peace from the UK.
Okay, on that note, we always want to hear from our audience.
Yes.
If anyone wants to communicate with the show, Dean at deanblechman.com. Just write in, and if you'd like to be a guest, any input you have for topics, questions, we'd love to hear from. What else? Carol?
I just want to make a shout out to Go University of Miami, cool parent group. Still love you. We have our alumni group. And because my daughter just graduated, which was very emotional, and a shout out to every Navy or military mom, dad, parent, anyone who has someone going into the military. It is, I can't tell you, as a Navy mom, I'm going through so much right now emotionally, driving my daughter crazy, but a shout out to all those strong people who have anywhere around the world, in
nice.
London, England,
beautiful,
anywhere.
Beautiful.
So,
Anthony, is there anything you want to say in closing?
If I'm coming down 25A, move out of the way, man.
You're leaving before us.
Move out of the way.
Well, upon that note, then, we're going to say so long to everybody. We'll see you next time on The Doghouse. Take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
You've been listening to The Dean Blechman Show, live from Long Island, New York. From all of us here, we'd like to thank you for tuning in. We look forward to hearing your comments via Facebook, Twitter, Skype, and email. And don't forget, you can visit the webpage anytime for the up-and-coming guest list. From all of us here, have a good evening.